Ever notice how saving money sounds a lot like never enjoying life again? Yeah, same. The problem isn't that you spend too much. It's that your money leaks in ways you don't even notice. Today, I'll show you how to stop overspending without feeling broke, deprived, or guilty every time you buy a coffee. This isn't about cutting joy. It's about keeping it on purpose. Today, we will talk about how to stop overspending without feeling poor. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. Overspending is a behavior problem, not a money problem. Most people believe they overspend because they don't earn enough. But in reality, overspending is driven by habits, emotions, and environment, rather than income alone. People often spend to cope with stress, boredom, loneliness, or the desire to feel rewarded after a long day. Marketing tactics, social media influence, and instant payment options make spending feel effortless and harmless in the moment. Without realizing it, money becomes a tool for emotional regulation instead of a resource to support long-term stability. To stop overspending without feeling poor, the first step is awareness. This means understanding when and why you spend, not just how much. Tracking expenses honestly, without guilt or self-judgment, reveals patterns that explain your behavior. Once you understand the emotional triggers behind your spending, you gain control. Control removes the feeling of restriction because you're no longer guessing, you're choosing intentionally. 2. Redefining wealth so saving doesn't feel like deprivation. Feeling poor often has nothing to do with how much money you have and everything to do with how you define wealth. Many people subconsciously associate being rich with frequent spending, constant upgrades, and visible consumption. Under this definition, saving money automatically feels like loss. To stop overspending, you must redefine wealth in a way that supports peace rather than pressure. True wealth is flexibility, security, and choice. The ability to handle emergencies, say no to toxic situations, and plan for the future without fear. When saving money represents freedom instead of sacrifice, it stops feeling painful. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" ask, "What kind of life am I buying with this decision?" This mental shift transforms saving from something you endure into something you value. You don't feel poor when you save. You feel powerful because your money starts working for you instead of disappearing silently. 3. Creating a spending system that allows enjoyment without guilt. Strict budgets often fail because they focus on restriction rather than sustainability. When people feel controlled, they rebel, and financial rebellion usually looks like impulsive spending. A better approach is creating a spending system that includes enjoyment by design. This means setting aside money specifically for pleasure without guilt or justification. When you know you're allowed to spend a certain amount freely, the urge to binge spend decreases dramatically. Overspending thrives in environments of deprivation. A system that balances responsibility with enjoyment removes emotional tension around money. Automating savings and fixed expenses first ensures financial progress, while flexible spending money maintains a sense of freedom. This approach eliminates the all-or-nothing mindset that causes people to overspend after minor slip-ups. When spending is intentional and planned, it no longer feels reckless, and when enjoyment is allowed, it no longer feels forbidden. 4. Cutting waste instead of cutting happiness. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to save money is cutting the wrong expenses. They eliminate small joys while ignoring large leaks. Overspending often hides in subscriptions you barely use, convenience purchases you don't value, and impulse buys that deliver short-term excitement but long-term regret. Cutting these expenses doesn't reduce quality of life, it improves it. The key is distinguishing between value-based spending and mindless spending. Value-based spending aligns with your priorities and consistently improves your life. Mindless spending happens out of habit or emotion. When you eliminate waste instead of joy, saving money doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like optimization. Your lifestyle improves because your money supports what matters instead of being drained by things you barely remember buying. 5. Mastering delayed gratification without feeling restricted. Impulse purchases are responsible for a large percentage of overspending, and the solution isn't permanent denial, it's delay. Delaying a purchase introduces logic into an emotional moment. By waiting 24 hours or even 30 days before buying non-essential items, you give your brain time to separate desire from need. Most impulses disappear when given time. If a purchase still feels meaningful after the waiting period, it's far more likely to be satisfying rather than regretful. This habit builds discipline without deprivation. You're not saying no forever, you're saying not yet. Over time, delayed gratification rewires your relationship with money. You become more selective, more confident, and less reactive. Spending becomes intentional rather than impulsive, and that shift alone dramatically reduces overspending while preserving enjoyment. 6. Building long-term financial confidence that eliminates the urge to overspend. The strongest defense against overspending is progress. When you see your savings grow, debt shrink, and financial stress decrease, spending loses its emotional grip. Confidence replaces anxiety, and clarity replaces impulse. Small wins, such as building an emergency fund, paying off a credit card, or maintaining consistent savings, create momentum. This momentum changes how you view money. Instead of being something you chase or escape through spending, money becomes a tool you manage with intention. The goal is not perfection, but consistency. When your finances align with your values and support your future, overspending naturally fades. You don't feel poor when you stop overspending. You feel stable, capable, and in control of your life. Stopping overspending doesn't require extreme frugality, self-denial, or living a boring life. It requires awareness, intention, and systems that support your values instead of fighting them. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.